Welcome back, friends. Today I've got a little DIY project here I thought I'd share with you. We're about to do our first honey extraction here in the next day or so, and we're trying to get everything all lined up here to get that process going. So I thought I would share with you my do-it-yourself decapping tub. Now there's a lot of different ways you can do this. Some people just take those frames and they just slice those cappings right into the kitchen sink or a Pyrex dish or paint strainer, you know, whatever you want to do, any old kind of tub, and that's fine. I just wanted something that was going to be a little more efficient for what I wanted to do, and so I came up with this one. Now what we've got is we've got a couple tubs that just kind of nest together. One's bigger than the other, as you can see. There's a reason for that. These particular tubs came from Lowe's. Smaller one, or the more shallow one, is it was 14 and change. The bottom one's 15 and change, so you got 30 bucks there. Then we've got a Man Lake honey gate there. I think that was probably around $18 to $19. So that's kind of the money we've got invested in this. The rest was just scrap stuff I had laying around. But I looked at some other tubs, and of course I went over to Wally World and checked out their stuff. The Sterilite tubs, I couldn't find two that nestled just the way that I wanted them to. Plus, that particular plastic on the Sterilite stuff is a little more brittle. So anytime you cut it, I found in the past that I ended up, getting some cracks in it and things like that. But like I said, it just wasn't going to fit my needs anyway. These are perfect. They're more sturdy. If you look at this top edge all the way around, it's close to a ½ an inch. It's nice and wide and it's flat. And it has all of these reinforcing ribs all the way around it, which makes this thing really good and stiff. Now the way this thing works, you're just going to take your frame. We've got a stainless steel screw sticking up here, a little pointy on the end, and you just put your frame right there and just cut the top of that capping off, flip it into your tub here, turn the other way, do the same thing, and then all your cappings are going to be here. Now if you'll notice, this is about midway. I moved mine back a little bit just in case I have a nice big long capping coming off in one piece and I decide I'm going to flip that baby over, and I don't want it flipping half of it outside the tub here. So I just kind of moved it back. No big Einstein moment there. That's just the way I decided to do it. This is a piece of aluminum angle. It's just something I grabbed out of the scrap pile from my old sprint car racing days. This is some cabinet trim that we used, and it's angled so it's nice and stiff. We got a stainless steel screw here, and we got stainless steel fasteners here. This trim on the inside is the same way. This is just some flat trim we used for cabinets I had laying around, and I cut a square out of here and left about 1.5 inches all the way around of plastic so we'd have a good base to attach this to, and I sandwiched this aluminum top and bottom so it's super stiff. And then we just took some hardware cloth. I'm not sure exactly what size this is. I don't think it's 1/4 inch, but what I had laying around. It's galvanized, it's not stainless, but we shouldn't have any rusting problems here. We used all aluminum rivets all the way around. Down here at the bottom, like I mentioned before, we got a Man Lake honey gate, and then I just had some more aluminum scrap here. I just cut 2 squares and used some button head rivets, aluminum as well, just to put some added stiffness for this honey gate, because it's going to be, getting some work, up and down, things like that. So we just wanted to make sure that everything was stiff. We don't have any cracks or anything like that going on. Now what we'll do is once we get our cappings in here, we're just going to let gravity do its work through this hardware cloth. Once we think we get most of the honey out of the cappings just by gravity, then we'll take our super expensive $6 potato masher from Amazon, and we'll just give it a little more encouragement, squeeze out a little bit more honey out of those wax cappings, and we're just going to let it all drip to our bottom container down here. Probably throw the lid on this, come back the next day and see what we got. We'll take this top container, it'll go to the bee yard. and we'll set it out where the bees can get to it top and bottom. They'll clean up all that excess honey, and then we'll be left with just some hopefully dried out wax cappings. Then we can put in our crock pot to melt down and wax some more frames for next season. The rest of the honey will be down here. Of course, there'll be some debris and things like that in there. We will run it through our double Manlake sifter here, just like we do, right out of the extractor into our honey bucket. And that way we're going to end up with just the most amount of honey we can out of our entire process here. Get everything we can out of the cappings, and we'll be good to go. So that's my little DIY decapping tub. Let me know what you think. You can put those in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that like button. If you'll check back here in a few more days or maybe a week, you'll get to see this little puppy in action, because we'll be doing our extraction, and hopefully everything will work out. So until next time, you guys be safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Adios.